standing at just over 5 foot tall, playing modern and retro games, we have the iiRcade cabinet for review here with the Tech Buzz. A man named Jong Wook Shin, a hardcore gamer. In 2019, he committed himself full-time to the project, wanting to make the perfect home arcade device with the most immersive experience ever. He created his first prototype in his basement dungeon and played his first game. It was amazing, and the proof of concept was a huge success. That was when iiRcade was born. Hey guys, it's Steve from the Tech Buzz, and I've got an awesome review here for you. This cabinet looks beautiful, all the way from the base to the control deck, all the way up to the monitor, and even the 1.21 gigawatt speakers that are 120 watts a piece. This control deck has a nice glossy finish to protect that graphic and keep those slimy hands from tearing it up. Okay, you can see the beautiful background that's on this marquee where the speakers just pop off the back, but we need some light. We need that IIR to light up to really give this marquee some even more depth to go with the sound. Now, one of the things that I've been getting and trying to get used to is the button configuration. ABC and XYZ on every other cabinet are reversed. So that's something I'm trying to get used to, as well as the feel of the buttons. I'm not sure how I feel about those. You can see there's a headphone jack, and also the joystick. The joystick I'm not sold on yet, as it is very much a short throw joystick. Now let's take a look at the monitor. The monitor at first glance is beautiful and vibrant, and that plexiglass cover that comes with it really adds to the definition of the screen. Now, one of the things that did concern me when I got this was that the screen protector was only on one side of the plexiglass. That did leave room for scratches on the other side. But when the monitor is illuminated, you don't really see them, but it's just something to take note with this cabinet. Alright, so let's take a look at the UI here. Now you can see the UI is nice, but there is room for improvement. You'll see whatever game you're choosing is kind of ghosted in the background, and it's broken into categories depending on what type of category that game falls under. You're going to see that there. Let's take a look at the settings where the quick start guide is. This is where you really should start out, where you can gain access to the QR code to bring your phone over and scan that QR code, whether you're on iOS or Android. Android, there is an app. Unfortunately, I have an iPhone, so I have to run it out of the browser by just opening up my camera app, tapping on the screen, and a link will pop up that I can click on and just simply go to the iiRcade store, where I can pick any of the games that are there and choose them and install them on my cabinet. Now, there are 3 different versions of this cabinet. You have the Dragon's Lair, the Double Dragon, and the original cabinet, which I have. And you can also get 64 gigabytes or 128 gigabytes of storage. Now, again, I have the 64 gigabyte version, and it seems to be really, really good. Now, you're seeing 2 screens because I am capturing it with the built-in HDMI output that's on the back of the cabinet, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. But one of my favorite games on this is Beach Buggy Racing. If I had to ask for a completely custom cabinet, it would have Beach Buggy Racing. And I know it's not a retro game, but this game is a lot of fun, especially if you're a Mario Kart fan. This game you'll play for hours, which I have already done. So, I'm really impressed with how the newer games are playing on this cabinet, and I think I mentioned earlier about the short throw in the joystick. I warmed up to it when playing games like this, it just seems a little bit more comfortable. Anyways, that's my thought on that. So let's go into a different game here, and let's take a look. And you can see the menu. It's got a really awesome menu that shows you what the controls are for the game. Now this is Super Burger Time. That's one of my favorites. And while this is loading up, let's talk about the specs here, right? A full-size cabinet plays hundreds of titles, and they are licensed. 19-inch display, Bluetooth, 120-watt speakers, Sanwa joysticks, arcade quality gamepad. You can use this as a bar top or a full-size cabinet. I opted for the full-size cabinet to go with my arcade here, so for me, those are pretty awesome specs. Now, if you were one that got it inside of the pledge through Kickstarter, it was $449 for the bar top and $549 for the full-size unit. Now, those prices have changed because now you have to purchase it from the website, so the price has gone up. And I think you're going to like this cabinet. Okay, so let's look at another title on this arcade. Let's look at Bomb Squad. Now, this has been something that I've been playing to test out the online experience with the iiRcade. I played with a bunch of people that were watching the stream. Jeff Rainwater was one that I played with, and we had a good time playing this game against. Even Jong Sun ended up jumping in, and I was kind of learning the game on the fly. You know, it is akin to Bomberman, if you've ever played that. As you can see here, I'm just playing against the computer here, but you can play up to, you know, a bunch of people in here and play online. And I think we had like 6 or 8 people playing with us last time. And I personally didn't notice any latency, and I had really been playing this on Wi-Fi. So that completely floored me at the fact that the Wi-Fi on this was so good, especially with playing it online in a fast-paced game like this. And this was just the beginning, right? So there's going to be more games coming. Now, one of the other games here that everybody's been waiting to see is Dragon's Lair. So I wanted to kind of show you guys that game. And I'm very impressed with how it plays. I know there's been a lot of questions like how does it play on the cabinet, and that's one of the reasons that they never came out with a cabinet from some of the other companies, was because of playing it and the performance. But I got to tell you, it performs very, very well for what it is. Now, I'm not very good at this game. I will preface that. But you can see the on-screen graphics look really good. The control is really good. The way it lights up at the bottom of what you're supposed to hit, I just felt. Okay, well, anyways. Now, one of the things I wanted to show is the boot up / shutdown process here. As you can see, I'm shutting it down just by pressing and holding the power button, and you see it says shutting down. And in a second here, you see it says it's no signal because for my capture card, because I'm not getting a signal. So you just press and hold the power button for a few seconds. I think it's like 10 seconds. Like, I don't really count, but just press and hold it, then let it go. And then you see this really cool design boot up. You know, it'd be really cool if this had audio, because when it first booted up, I was like, should I have audio right now? Or, you know, is that something I should have right now? But you can kind of see the boot up sequence is pretty easy, pretty simple. Now, I do use a smart switch, so when it turns it on, it turns everything on. But let's look at a staple game that I know a lot of you guys didn't pre-order, and that is Double Dragon. Now, this has been an all-time favorite to play, and I have to say that this game brings back a lot of memories, and being able to play this, and you know, it's really fun to have it on the arcade. I don't know if I'd want a designated cabinet artwork for it, but it is a lot of fun, and it is something that I think everybody will enjoy on this cabinet. So what do I think about the iiRcade? Well, you know, in the beginning, I was very skeptical. I basically said Jong has to prove that this machine is worth what he calls the experience. And I am very, very pleasantly surprised with how well it performs. Having the ability to play newer games in arcade formats, like the one sitting here, Beach Buggy Racing, one of my favorites on this cabinet, as well as some of the all-time greats. But I have to say, overall, I think if you're into new games plus retro games and having something that's family and kid friendly, this is a machine to get, especially if you're limited on space and you can't handle a big full-size cabinet, or you don't want a lot of the little 3/4 scales. This really gives you that family atmosphere, as well as having the ability to play some private play with some headphones. Now, I do want to state this. I would recommend looking over all the connections and checking all the T-nuts to make sure everything from the factory is secured and all the wires are seated properly. I did have an issue where the sound was cutting in and out, and it didn't happen right away. This is no fault of iiRcade, but it happens when machines are in transit and moving from place to place. So I would recommend reseating all the cables that you're able to get to, just to ensure when you put it together, everything works perfect. Now, that isn't an issue or a deal breaker for me, because you're going to have some issues like this that arise due to shipping. So I would just encourage everyone, double check it as you're putting it together to ensure everything is working properly. Overall though, I think this is a great experience, and I do think that the speakers are extremely loud. So I tend to play it very low, especially in the arcade here. Well, I hope you guys check it out, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more here from the Tech Buzz. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you want to see with the iiRcade. I really want to have more and more live streams, especially because of that HDMI built in the back end. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep it buzzing.